We're on. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Are you having fun playing the Tom Hanks trivia game? I just threw it up there. Just say, hey, tell me the names of Tom Hanks movies. I started it off. Thank you, everybody, for participating. Welcome to the show. Thank you for the thumbs up, everybody. Welcome all to the program from wherever you are on the planet. Great to have you here. Thank you very, very much. It is Monday, April the 14th, 2025. We're just about halfway through April. Nice to have you here. Spring is beginning, I'm sure, to spring somewhere north of California, where I am by now. Hope weather becomes nice and pleasant for you wherever you are, and we're all doing well. Welcome everyone to the program. I've been having fun with Mrs. Brittany Anderson here. I've been playing with her a little bit. There you are. There's your quick trivia question. Name Tom Hanks movies. Deep Value number one. Of course, I said I have been on a cruise. It was 2004 with my mom and one of my aunts, but I have never been on the Oceanliner in real life, but occasionally in my dreams. Brittany, it is the anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's assassination. Not exactly sure of how many years, though. 113th anniversary of the Titanic hitting the iceberg, and 10 years since I broke my left kneecap. Well, these are all very important and highly significant days in the life of America. Brittany, I don't know why they don't have a silver dollar, to commemorate the recovery of your hip, your knee. I mean, maybe someday, maybe on the 50th anniversary they'll celebrate it. I guess it's actually 160th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's assassination. Look at that. There you go, Forrest Gump spot. Ken, hello, Bruce and Jen from Saginaw. Hey, Ken. How you doing? The temperature is 59 degrees. Talk about nicer weather. A cold front moving in tonight. Gas dropped to $2.99 a gallon over here. Good evening, Janet and Ken. Number 5 today. Brittany, ready and waiting for the trivia show for the show to begin. There you go. I think I gave that third thumbs up to you. Fantastic. Sharon is here. Hey, number 9 tonight. Looking forward to trivia, but we won't be here next Monday. We've got tickets to a movie screening in Princeton that night. Awesome stuff. Thank you, everybody. Brittany's thinking Titanic, and I'm going, Tom Hanks isn't Titanic? Tom, I think is his first name. Bruce, you're making me laugh so hard. I can't type, I said. Welcome all. Welcome to the show. Robert Mailhout is here. Hey there, buddy. How you doing? Brittany, are you giving us some free answers or messing around with us? What is Jen in here? What's going on? Let's see. What else is going on? Stephen Butler is here thinking, Splash, that was a movie he made. Incredibly loud, incredibly annoying, says Sharon. What else is going on here? Brittany shared out the live stream on Facebook, trying to attract some new people to this show. There you go. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Kirk Brunson. Hi, Bruce and TLB family. Kirk from New York City is here. I'm working. I'm on lunch right now. Saving Private Ryan, Elvis, Forrest Gump, here, A Man Called Otto, Elvis Has Left the Building, That Thing You Do, all kinds of movies for Tom Hanks, right? Yes, sir. This afternoon finally feels a bit like spring around here. Robert, correct logo and shirt. Well done, Bruce. Thank you, Robert. Thinking of you about 10 minutes ago when I got this going. Brittany, 74 degrees here in Pensacola, Florida. Not too shabby. Not bad at all. Welcome all of you to the program. Thank you for popping in. If you're able to hit that thumbs up button for me, please do. And if you wish, if you could, I would appreciate it if you gave my question of the day a little look-see. I'm asking some questions today. One question: did you ever go on a cruise ship or an ocean liner with your mom and or your dad? Kind of curious if any of you been on a ship many years ago. Some of you are kind of my age, so if you've ever been on a ship with your parents, it would have been many decades back. But I'm kind of curious, did any of you have that experience of being on a ship quite some time back with your mom and dad when you were a kid? In my personal example, yes, I did. I was on 2 ocean liners with my parents. I don't really remember the first one, but I do remember the second time, and that was returning from Germany in 1962 back to Canada. My father had been in the Canadian Army, and his squad, all the guys that he was with, and husbands, the wives and children, we were all together. We went over to Germany together and came back to Canada together 3 years later. And my father was a musician in the Canadian Armed Forces. He was in the marching band, and he was a pretty well a full-time musician and soldier. And they came back um, all together in 1962. And in those days, up until 62, I think beyond that, after 1964-65, they did not travel to Germany anymore, or at that time, West Germany, to be with the NATO forces by cruise ship. They stopped traveling by ocean liner and they began to be flown over. So we were too soon from 1959 going to Germany and 1962 coming back to Canada. It was too early for us to have been on a plane. So we did the ocean liner thing, but by 67, 68, 69 and beyond, until the Berlin Wall came down, all NATO soldiers for Canada would fly over to Europe by jet, and the old ocean liner days were gone. My parents loved the ocean liner, both directions, because we were basically in what would have been second class accommodations. First class would have been the higher end passengers. I don't know even if if my father's superior officer would have had a first class cabin possible, but certainly one of the better second class cabin. We had a family cabin for us, and that gave us two bunk beds for my sister and I. And I'm not sure about my parents' accommodation. I can't remember it, whether they had a queen size bed. They probably did, or they had two singles, regular beds, and then they had bunk beds for my sister and I can't tell you. But my parents loved the ship because they got to do nothing for 6 days. My mother had no laundry to do. My mother had no cleaning up to do. She had no cooking to have to worry about. Talk about a nice break. That was a trip. I remember how much she enjoyed it. Just looking after my sister and I, and every night going out dancing every night with my father in the grand hall with the real bands they had at that time. It was fantastic. All the wives and husbands of the Army group that we were with, they all had a great time, and we as kids had a lot of fun on that ship. They had all kinds of activities for us. That was 1962 for me. So there you go. There's a confession from me being on a ship with my mother and father. And I consider myself lucky to this day that I was able to experience that. And so, yeah, if you want to answer that question, 21 of you so far have taken the plunge and have answered the question. No is leading the pack, unfortunately. At the moment, no has 67% of the votes, and yes has 33% of the votes. And if you want to share your journey with your parents on a ship, you can certainly do that. Thank you all very, very much. Thank you again for these thumbs ups, 15 and counting. Keep them coming in, guys. I appreciate you for that. Welcome all to the program. Nice to have you all with us. It finally feels like spring, says Sharon. Welcome all. Let's see. Stephen Butler, you got mail. One of the first meeting on the internet movies. See, Philip Baldwin, Stockholm and Kungsholm says, Sharon, yes, I was on the Oceanic to Nassau with my parents and brother, and also the Sea Venture to Bermuda, an odd name for a ship traveling to Bermuda since the island was discovered when the original Sea Venture crashed. Kind of weird. Philip Baldwin with my mom. I was on the ship. Brittany, 9 days till my husband leaves here for his deployment. We have no clue as to exactly how long his deployment will last, as he is going to Kosovo. Interesting. Sharon, as I've said before, the Sea Venture I was on in the 70s was purchased by Princess and became the Pacific Princess, aka the original love boat. Brittany, it could be as many as 400 days before I see him again. Who knows? Vicky, I went to Germany by Navy ship as a 5-year-old. Pete Hoskins, good morning, Bruce. Just arrived back from taking the car, being towed to an auto electrician. The computer failed. Modern electronics. What can we say? Hey, welcome, Pete, to the show. Great to have you here today. Thank you for joining me tonight. Yeah, interesting. being deployed, the military. I know that Army brats, children of Army and Navy and Air Force people, were stationed all over the world in the 50s and 60s with their parents, depending on the deployment. In West Germany, the entire, I don't know if we were a brigade or what we were, our company, I have no idea, but the band, my dad referred to it as the band, and it had to have been 50 guys. It was a big marching band. It could have been 60 guys. Anyway, husbands, wives, and children all went over, and we were supposed to go to Germany for 2 years, 1959 to 61. And it turned out we ended up staying an extra year because in 1961, the Berlin Wall went up. The entire world's military went on worldwide alert because tanks in Berlin, Germany, were on both sides of the border between East and West Germany. The Russian tanks were on this side, the American tanks were on that side with the British tanks, the French tanks, and they were pointing at each other, and they were like 20 feet away from each other, and the entire city of Berlin was on high alert. All of East and West Germany was on high alert. All of Europe was on high alert. Air systems were going. Nuclear weapons were worried about. I mean, it was a worldwide crisis. And my father was in West Germany with my mom and sister and I, about 12 miles away from the front, from the East German border in West Germany. I knew from nothing. I'm just a kid that's 6 years old. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't notice anything weird. And we didn't return back to Canada. We had all these goodbye parties. My mother is from Germany. My father's from Lithuania. So all of their relatives had already said goodbye to us. We had goodbye parties going every weekend. And, we're going back to Canada. We may not ever see them again because we're going back on a boat back to Canada. I mean, how often do you see German relatives? You don't. And then with a few days to go before we were supposed to leave, the entire trip was canceled, and we had to stay indefinitely. And it took a month or so, and we found out we're here for another year. And so the deployment of new troops coming over was on hold and could be deployed at any time. And the troops that were in West Germany were not going anywhere, along with all the Americans and the Brits and everybody else. And so we had to stay another year. Now, for my mother and father, this was fantastic. They were happy as clams to not go back to Canada for another year. They didn't mind. But for all the Canadian soldiers and wives and children, they had to stay another year. And at that point, we didn't know if it was just another year. We didn't know if we were if there was a war going on. We had no idea. Were we going to be evacuated to France, evacuated to England if hostilities broke out? I had no idea. My mother, no idea. But as it turned out, things calmed down about over 3 months or so. Things calmed down, and they delayed our rotation for a full year. And then we came back in 1962. And so I was turning 7 that year when we got back to Canada. And by the time I got back to Canada as a 7-year-old or 6.5, 7-year-old, I could speak no English whatsoever. I only spoke German because in the house, my mother only spoke German. My father spoke German. And on where we lived, all the neighbors spoke German. All my relatives that I would ever see all spoke German. And the only English I was given was at school. And this was the Army school. And I was surrounded by Canadian and American kids and British kids, all speaking English. And I spoke German. And I was one of a handful of kids that spoke German fluently. The 10-year-olds and 12-year-olds, they all spoke German. So I was okay. They had learned the language over 3 years. But when we came back to Canada, I could not speak a word of English. I had no idea what English was. And so a couple of hard years for me. But that was then. This is now. Welcome, everybody. Brittany, he'll be in a station in Texas 1 month, Germany 1 month, and then the rest, besides a few days in Louisiana, he'll spend the rest in Kosovo. And apparently it's nice in Kosovo. It's kind of nice. Vicky, Army brat to the core, 6 years in Germany and 7 in Okinawa. I missed the hippie era because you were in Okinawa. The late 60s. You missed all that in the 70s. Stephen, Sharon, if you made it okay to the Sea Venture, maybe a Titanic 2 will be safer than people might think. She's loving that. Oh my goodness. Funny. Yeah, the Army brats. There are a billion Army brats out there who've gone through all of this interesting stuff. A different life altogether. My Army brat life was only about probably 6 years. My father was in the Army for 3 years originally in Canada, then shifted to Germany, and I think he was in the Army for 6 years. Yeah, I think then he resigned. He left the Army and he was honorably discharged. He would have stayed 3 more years. There was the next Army band to be transferred to West Germany was out of Gagetown, New Brunswick. I believe it's New Brunswick. And my father tried to transfer from the Army band he was in when we got back to Canada to Gagetown. And had he been allowed to transfer into Gagetown, he would have been redeployed back to West Germany. And my mother and he were scheming to find a way to get redeployed to go back to Germany for another 3 years. Because in those days, if you were an Army person, and my father was now a sergeant or master sergeant, he was making more money than a private. You're getting paid in Canadian dollars, and the Canadian dollar against the West German mark, that's what they were using for currency back then. You could get 4.5 German marks for every Canadian dollar. So that's advantage number one. My father made more money than bank managers in Germany at the time in dollar denomination, if you converted it. Number two, my father, being an Army guy, could buy gasoline at the equivalent of, say, 10 cents a gallon versus $1.50 a gallon for a typical German. Like it was Army prices. He had special tokens to get gasoline at super cheap prices. And on the Army stores, on the Army bases, everything brought in from Canada was duty and tax free for the soldiers. So cigarettes, he was buying cigarettes at 25 cents a pack instead of $2 a pack. To give you an idea, that it would be 1/10 the price what a German would pay. Coffee, tins of coffee that would last years, vacuum packed. He would buy a tin of coffee for 50 cents. That would cost his relatives $5. Chocolate, $1 for a giant bar, 50 cents for a giant bar, where a German would pay $5. Flour, sugar, butter, meat, everything. So my father would load up at the Army base store on a Friday morning, load up a bunch of groceries and cigarettes and booze. A 26 bottle of whiskey would be at $2, where a bottle of whiskey in Germany would be like $25, just to give you an idea of the difference. And he would have that. He owned a Volkswagen camper van at the time. He would load that thing up, get my sister and I in there, get his wife in there, get mom in there, and load up our weekend clothing. And we would drive to the relatives, which would be 80 kilometers away, an unthinkable distance in Germany in 1959. 80 kilometers, 50 miles. That was like across the country. It was just unthinkable. And we would land there on a Friday late afternoon, early Friday evening, and he would have the weekend off, and we would go back on Sunday night back home. He'd be back on the base Monday morning. And we would visit grandma and grandpa and the other relatives there. And my parents would pull out the stuff from the Army base. Wow, my grandmother couldn't wait for my father and mother to show up because they brought the coffee. and they brought the sugar, and they brought the booze, and they bought the chocolate, and they sugar and everything. I mean, the basic. At virtually nothing for just. My parents would just give it to them. Just you're welcome. You're welcome. And my mother and father would take off on a Saturday night to go see a movie together. And my sister and I would be babysat by grandma and grandpa. Well, we're happy campers. We're being spoiled rotten by the grandparents. My parents are happy because they get away from the kids for a little while. They take the camper and, test out the suspension system of the camper in a campground, just kind of get to know each other again without those two pesky kids around. Good times. I learned all this later. After I had grown up a while in my 20s and 30s, I kind of went, wait a minute, just a second here. Let me get this straight. My dad says, what are you going to do? I suppose. Anyway, Brittany, I love nephews and now nieces who have parents in the military. One said their mom is retired from the Air Force. The other, whose father's currently in the Air Force. Also, 3 of her parents are not in the military. I have 8 nieces and nephews, 3 nephews and 5 nieces. Look at that. All right. Well, there's some stories from the 50s and 60s for you that bore you to tears. Welcome all to the show. Thank you for joining me tonight. A little bit of news for you today in the old travel department, and I've got some trivia for you if you're ready for trivia tonight. News coming out of Hawaii. In Hawaii, there is only one cruise ship that stays in Hawaii that offers cruises from Honolulu back to Honolulu on a weekly kind of basis. That is the Norwegian ship known as the Pride of America. That ship is a U.S. flagged ship with a U.S. crew on board, or anyone working on that ship, it has a green card for the United States to work, and they're all paid American wages. They're all given American benefits. They pay taxes and everything else. And that cruise, if you want to take a 1-week cruise in Hawaii, if you ever have bothered to price out a 1-week cruise on the Pride of America, you will note that it is far more expensive to take a Norwegian cruise for 1 week around Hawaii than it is to take a 1-week cruise out of Miami on a Norwegian ship around the Caribbean. It's double, at least double, depending on what room you want and so on. Well, there are a lot of cruise ships that come to Hawaii from Los Angeles, out of San Francisco. They'll cross 4 or 5 days at sea to get to Hawaii. They'll spend 3 or 4 or 5 days around Hawaii and then cruise back to the mainland with a stop in Ensenada, Mexico, to get that second country in. A lot of ships do that through the year. And then we have ships that will do a repositioning cruise from perhaps Seattle or Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada, after the Alaska cruise season. And they'll sail up to Hawaii, stop a night or two, or do a couple of nights in Hawaii, and then continue on maybe to Fiji, the Society Islands, and ultimately to Australia, New Zealand, and set up for their winter season there, which is the summer season for Australia, New Zealand. And then in the spring, it's the reverse. They come out of New Zealand and Alaska as fall and winter is approaching for those territories, and they're coming back towards Hawaii for the stopover, and then they'll work their way in April and May to Seattle and Vancouver for Alaska cruising. So you get a lot of this kind of visitations. Now, round the world cruises almost always stop in Hawaii, or usually, depending on the route and the where they're actually headed. So that's not unusual. Anyway, out of Hawaii comes news. We just heard news now in the last couple of days that the Hawaii legislature, the state government of Hawaii, wants to impose new taxes and fees on cruise ships. And the first proposed rule that they want to put through is a head tax of $20 a passenger for every port you're going to go to. So if you're going to stop in Hawaii at 4 different stops, you're talking $80 a passenger additional to your cruise. Now, if you've got a family of 4 and you're taking a cruise, that is $80 a stop times 4 stops, $320 more in head taxes for port charges. That's the first law they're passing. The second one they're trying to pass is called the hotel tax. It's they've got a fancy name for it, but it's basically a room tax like they tax hotels. They want to add 10.25% tax per night that the ship is in Hawaiian waters. Now you think about that. You have a cruise ship with 2,500 passengers, or say 1,500 cabins on board, a big ship. You want to add a 10% room tax for every night you're in Hawaii. You're talking about, 3 nights in Hawaii out of a total of 15 nights. And your average daily charge to be on a cruise ship is calculated at $200 a cabin per night. You're talking $20 a night room tax per cabin for the 3-4 nights, whatever number of nights you're there. That adds up to a whole bunch more money. So the island of Hawaii is trying to enhance revenue out of cruise ship companies by basically doing an end around, and they're really head taxes on passengers. That's what those are. And whatever you spend on Hawaii land is obviously not enough for the Hawaii officials. And so they're trying to jack up the cost of, trying to bring capital in from cruise liners. Now, I'm wondering, this is supposed to go through in 2027 or something. It starts like in a year and a half. I'm wondering if this will cause a lot of cruise lines to divert away from Hawaii. If they're going to go to Australia anyway, are they just going to sail an extra day or so and pass Hawaii entirely and just go to Fiji directly? If Fiji doesn't impose these kinds of fees, or if Fiji figures out, oh, hey, wait a minute, we could attract a lot more cruise passengers to our territory if they want to, or Vanuatu or Caledonia or New Caledonia or any of these other islands in the Pacific, if any of them get a whiff that they might be able to get 10 cruise ship visits a year into their territory with 2,500 passengers per ship, that's 25,000 passengers coming into their country without a massive head tax. It might be a $10 head tax, not 20, and no hotel fee. Kind of make you wonder how that's going to work out. The other thing I'm wondering about is if Hawaii does implement this hotel tax, will other territories in the Caribbean get wise and think, hey, why don't we do a hotel tax too? We've got the port fee, and we get, they take tours on the island, and they go out, they buy T-shirts and stuff, But why don't we institute a hotel type fee on top of that? We could get $20 a passenger in our little island, and we get 1 million passengers a year. That's $20 million in added revenue to our government. It's going to make cruising to some of these islands and countries perhaps unaffordable for a lot of folks in America and elsewhere. Because if you're going to turn a what used to be, remember now, 5 years ago, you used to be able to do a balcony cabin on sale for $600, $500 a person. If that turns into now a $1,200 a person cruise or a $1,400 per person cruise, doesn't that potentially price out families of 4 or 5, where the household income is under $100,000 a year? There's no way a family of 4 could spend $7,000 or $12,000 on a 1-week cruise if it gets really ridiculously priced. Now, of course, there are cruisers, you know it, and I know it. There are cruisers who are spending $10,000 a week on a cruise, $15,000 a week on a cruise. They've got that kind of capital. They get the best suites. They're, living the life. I'm not talking about those passengers. I'm talking about inside rooms, balcony rooms, ocean view rooms where you used to get the $3.99 deal. Those aren't around anymore. I wonder about, our government's now going to use cruise ships as a cash cow, because they're going to look at these billion-dollar vessels, and they're not looking at $70 million cruise ships. They're looking at billion-dollar hotels coming in, and they're going to want more of the take rather than leave it all for the cruise lines. There's a battle royale going on here. I kind of wonder about that. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. All right. Vicky, John F. Kennedy was standing between me and the table of German ribbon candy. Not all boring stories at all, Bruce. I love your stories. Vicky, Pride of America booked for next May, by the way. Vicky, 10-day Alaska cruise on Joy next month. Kirk Brunson, my parents cruised on the Pride of America, and my mom said it was great. Very costly, she added, though it was expensive. Vicky, my 10-day Hawaii cruise hotel trip was already $12,000 for a regular balcony. Look at that. There's a sign right there. These countries, these states, these territories, they figure, well, you're already paying big money. What's an extra $500 to us? $300. What's an extra $100 for us? We're just going to take a piece of. We just want a piece of the action. The old days in the 70s and the 80s and the 2000s, you could go on a cruise where tipping was your discretion. You would give $2 a day to your room steward in a little envelope. So 1 week cruise, you gave him $15. You gave a little envelope to your waiter for maybe $10 for the week. Those days are gone. It's $18.50 mandatory per passenger charged to your room. The fees and taxes that are now nailed onto your cruise by Homeland Security in America, just getting up there. All the fees and taxes in Nassau, the Bahamas, Jamaica, Cayman Islands, these are all going up. Mexico wants $42 a passenger per port. That's going nuts, isn't it? This cruising game used to be a bargoon. It's not a bargoon anymore, is it? It's sort of changing. Paul Romero ending up canceling my European cruise to the Greek islands, since the airlines charge so much, nearly $4,000 in traveling expenses for 3 people. It's just too much, since the cruise is only $1,500. We can't get to the ship affordably. Doesn't that say it all? Isn't it kind of disturbingly disturbing? Things are changing. The American dollar is dropping in the European zone dramatically. The British pound and the euro, they're rising against the U.S. dollar. The U.S. dollar is falling in Japan right now. Canadian dollar was 68 cents a month ago. It's 72. Canadian dollar is going up against the American dollar. Even Canada, like with the trade wars and stuff. I don't know what to make of it. Quite interesting. Other news for you to tell you about before we go to trivia. The travel industry. They're reporting trends in travel, and the big one right now that you've probably heard about is number one, bookings from Canada to the United States by air between now and October of this year, going forward now, 6 months, are down 70%. Americans are not aware of how angry Canadians are right now, and they're just not booking trips into the United States. Only 30% of the bookings are available. 70% are canceled or not being made. Planes are being canceled between Canada and the U.S. The number of seats available are being dropped by airlines. They can't sell out their planes. That's shocking to me. But other countries, Australia travel to the United States from Australia to down 7% so far in March. First month that it's been noticed. We'll see if that builds. Germany down 28%. Ireland is down 27% in bookings. Spain down 24%. United Kingdom 14%. France is down about 8%. So bookings into America from outside America are falling dramatically, and this could impact cruise lines. because some of these passengers were cruise passengers. Some of them, of course, are going to New York, they're going to Los Angeles, they're going to Vegas, New Orleans, wherever, Chicago, wherever, and then just people coming in to see family. The number one reason for foreigners to not come into the U.S., the number one reason being used, the excuse, fear. That's the word. And that word is you just haven't heard that word before into America. Fear, F-E-A-R, fear. The second one is cost, but also up there is with fear, it's the worry about trying to get in. The horror stories that have been printed around the world about how some foreigners, are being treated at the border. They're not getting that warm, fuzzy feeling. They don't want to be interrogated by these officers. They don't want to be searched with their phone history. They don't want their internet history searched. They don't want to be, in a room for 5 hours. Like it's fear. It's irrational. It's irrational, but it's fear. It's not. You can't put a finger on it. That the Homeland Security people are just saying we're just doing our jobs, where foreigners are saying your jobs are not to scare people, and fear. They're just not. They're not even booking. They're not. The U.S. is out. It's just out. There's nothing America can do to turn it around right now, unfortunately, and it's kind of sad. It's too bad. We literally have not got visitors coming to see us from Canada right now. They're not coming down here. Friends and family that we have are not coming here to see us in Palm Springs, Palm Desert, Rancho Mirage. Fear, just irrational. We tell them everything's fine, everything's okay. There are no unmarked vans driving around the neighborhood here. Nothing like just fear. Interesting. There you go. Are you ready for trivia? It looks like Kevin's ready. Da Vinci Code, Bruce. That was a Tom Hanks movie. I'm ready for you. I'm ready for trivia. Well, let's get ready. Let's take a look at the thumbs up number and the poll question. I've got 28 people now who have answered my question of the day for this week. I appreciate you doing this. 26 thumbs ups. If you can find the thumbs up button, help us out. Did you ever go on a cruise or like a cruise ship or an ocean liner with your parents? Mom or dad or both. That's what I want to know. So this is, for some of you, is a childhood memory. I know that a lot of families do these family get-together cruises in the Caribbean for a week, or some of you may have gone to a wedding on a cruise ship, or a wedding was going to be held at a beach in Mexico, and the reception is going to be on the cruise ship or something like that. Anyway, I'm curious. Out of the 29 voters so far, 38% said, I have been on an ocean liner or a cruise ship with my mom and dad, or both, one or the other. 62% have said, no, I've never taken a cruise with my parents. All the cruising we've done, that I've done, has been without my parents. It's been with my wife or my husband or kids or on our own. Maybe it's a honeymoon trip, but I've not been on a ship with my mom and dad. So I'm kind of curious if any of you would like to participate in that. Please answer the question, yes or no. Let us know. I'll keep referring to that as we go through trivia. Are you ready for trivia, you guys? I'm ready for trivia. Let's get this party started. Thank you all for joining me today, Sharon. Yay, trivia! That's right. Let's get this thing going. All right. The first trivia question of the day is pertaining to your skills, your linguistic skills, and your geographic skills. I'm putting you to work here. Can you tell me the names of the largest cities in the United States that happen to have 7 letters in their name? So you can't give me Reno, because Reno's only got 4 letters. I'm looking for 7-letter cities. So think about 7-letter cities that you can come up with and just tell me the names of 7, and I'll let you know if they're big enough to make this list. I'm looking for cities that are basically the 98th largest city or larger in America that happen to have 7 letters in them. So Kevin is right on it. So is Kirk. So is Vicky. But I think Kirk, you're almost cheating. I mean, come on, buddy. You're in New York, but of course, New York is excellent. I guess not only is New York a 7-letter city, it is the largest city with 7 letters, which happens to be the largest city in America. Period. 8.8 million people in New York City, approximately. So, Kirk, well done. Kevin, well done. Who else guessed here? Vicky had it. Kevin had it, and Kirk had it right off the bat. Thank you guys so much. Stephen Butler, what about Chicago? That's got 7 letters. Yeah. You know what? Chicago is the 2nd city on this list and the 3rd largest city in the United States. 2.7 million. It happens to be 7 letters long. Vicky, you also got New York. Special mention to you as well. Kevin, the author himself, Kevin Chapman. Hey, Uncle Bruce, thumbs up number 18. Vacations with my parents were camping, not cruising. Nice. There you go. Sharon, what about Orlando, Florida, Bruce? There's a city with 7 letters, indeed, and it has 307,000 people officially in Orlando. I'm going to bet the metropolitan area might be larger. But anyway, 67th largest city in the United States, 7 letters long. Atlanta, Vicky, Atlanta, you're not putting Atlanta past me. 38th largest city in the United States. The actual city of Atlanta, not 498,000. Now, we all know that if we were to look at metropolitan populations, it would be much larger. But there could be parts of Metro Atlanta that has cities with 7 letters in it. So we got to go with Atlanta. 498,000 people, the 30th largest city in the United States. Ken Koreka had Chicago. Brittany had New York. Kevin is coming in here with Seattle, Washington. Yeah. Seattle, Washington, 18th largest city in the United States, 737,000 people. Stephen Butler had Seattle as well, being from the region, of course. Kevin, Chicago. Sharon, San Diego. That's more than 7 letters. Not going to work. Roger had Atlanta. Sharon, what about St. Louis, Missouri? St. Louis, yes, 69th largest city, 301,000 population. Kevin had Atlanta. Ken, Las Vegas. That's a little more than 7, I think. I think we got 8 letters there. Kevin, what about Buffalo, Bruce? Yeah, Buffalo will work. 76th largest city, 278,000. How about Hoboken? Brittany wants to know. Hoboken, New Jersey. Hoboken. Well, it's got 7 letters, but unfortunately, it is not large enough in population to make this list. We have Buffalo here from Kevin. Ken's got Seattle. Kevin's coming in with Detroit, Michigan. Yes, sir. The 27th largest city, 639,000 people. That makes the list. Kevin, Houston. Houston, the 4th largest city in America. 2.3 million people there. Sharon, Memphis, Tennessee. Yeah. Memphis, 28th largest city, 633,000 people in Memphis, fast-growing city too. Ken Koreka, Portland, I think is 8 letters. San Jose, Kevin Chapman, yes, 7 letters. 10th largest city in the United States, 1 million population for San Jose. Ken is going, oh shoot, Portland does have 8 letters. Brittany, Memphis, we've got. Kirk Brunson, Detroit, we've got. Vicky, Houston, with an I or a U, either way you spell it, it works. We've got it. Whoops, she says. Memphis, we have. St. Louis, we have. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you, Kevin. Brittany, Ontario. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's 8 letters. Aereo, 1, 2, 3, 4. No, that's 7 letters. Ontario, California, Ontario. Doesn't make the list though. That is not big enough, but that's a good get. Roger, San Jose, we've got it. Trenton, New Jersey, Bruce, from Sharon, wondering about Trenton in New Jersey. The capital of New Jersey, not in the list either. Didn't make the cut. Not big enough. Raleigh, North Carolina. Kevin is wondering about Raleigh. I know you guys are sitting there going, yep, Raleigh, number 41 largest city, 467,000 people in the United States. You got it, Stephen Butler. Spokane, Washington. There's Seattle, and there's Spokane. That's right. Spokane, number 98 largest city, the last one on this list as far as the size goes, came in the 24th place. 228,000 people in Spokane, Washington. Ken Koreka had Memphis. Cool Jazz had Yonkers. What about Yonkers, New York? Does it rank in the top 98 in America? Doesn't make it, not big enough. Brittany, Oakland, California. Yes, number 45 in America, 440,000 people. It makes the cut. RMS 492. Anaheim, Bruce. Yeah, Anaheim, California, number 56 largest city, 346,000 people. Ken Koreka had St. Louis and Kirk Brunson. The Bronx. That's 7 letters. Come on, man. Give me a break here. The Bronx. Oh, my gosh. Well, we still have a few to get. I can give you some hints if you like. There's a city in the Midwest that Brittany was referring to a gentleman who is named after this city in the middle of America. Brittany, you ought to know who I'm talking about now. You were telling me about this guy earlier today. Cool Jazz El Paso. That's only 6 letters. Cool Jazz Wichita. Wichita, not there, but there it is. Number 49, largest city, 397,000. Right on. Redding in California. That's 7 letters. Redding, but doesn't make the list as being big enough. Anaheim, we've got. Thank you, Cool Jazz. Sharon is going Lincoln, Nebraska. Yeah, that's right. Mrs. Anderson was telling me about Lincoln's birthday. Well, Lincoln, Nebraska, number 73 on the list, 291,000 population. Cool Jazz is thinking Orlando. We've got it. Cool Jazz, Lubbock, Texas. Yep, number 86 largest city in America, 257,000. There's another one of those 7-letter cities. I'm looking for a big city. I'm looking for America's 5th largest city. 5th largest city. You haven't guessed it yet, guys. Winslow, Arizona is not going to cut the list. Winslow isn't big enough. But I'm looking for a city in Wisconsin that I believe happens to be the capital city of Wisconsin, if anyone knows that one. What about Norfolk, Virginia, Bruce? Norfolk, yeah, number 95 largest city, 238,000 people. Yes, sir. Well done, Cool Jazz. Augusta, Georgia, home of the Masters, not on the list, sorry to say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 there. Sharon and RMS, we can't believe we missed Phoenix. Yes, Phoenix, Arizona, number 5 in America, 1.6 million people. Kevin is coming in with Ken correct. Madison, Wisconsin is the capital of Wisconsin, the 80th largest city, 269,000 people. I'm looking for another city in Arizona that starts with the letter G, but it's not Glendale. What city in Arizona starts with the letter G and happens to be the 81st largest city in the United States? Cool Jazz is wondering about Lansing, Michigan. 7 letters. Car factories at one time. Yeah, unfortunately, Lansing doesn't cut it on the list. I'm looking for a city in Texas that also starts with the letter G. It's in Texas, though. This is Goodyear, not going to work. Ann Arbor, not going to work. A city in Arizona with the letter G, a city in the state of Texas with the letter G, and then I need one more out of California that is named after the downtown main street of Las Vegas. So the city's name is exactly the same name as the street in downtown Vegas where the casinos first started off. RMS is thinking about Gilbert. Yeah, Gilbert, Arizona, the 81st largest city in America. Detroit, we've done. Garland, Texas, Cool Jazz. Yeah, Garland, Texas, number 92 city in America, 246,000 people. And Kevin is going Fremont Street, Bruce. And Sharon is going Fremont Street. Yeah, Fremont, California, but it's spelled Fremont, but it's okay. I'm a good guy. I'm good with it. We are not the Joneses has it. Same with Ken. Is wondering about Redding, and Cool Jazz wondering about Burbank. We're done this quiz. Fremont, California is the 97th largest city. Here are the largest cities in America with 7 letters. New York, Chicago, Houston, Phoenix, San Jose, Seattle, Detroit, Memphis, Atlanta, Raleigh, Oakland, Wichita, Anaheim, Orlando, St. Louis, Missouri, Lincoln, Nebraska, Buffalo, Madison, Wisconsin, Gilbert, Arizona, Lubbock, Texas, Garland, Texas, Norfolk, Virginia, Fremont, California, Spokane, Washington. Those are the 7-lettered largest cities in America. The top, there's 24 of them. Well done, everyone. Nice job. All right, let's move on to the next quiz. Here we go. Let me pop this in here and get my marker working for me. There we have it. Thank you again. Also, those of you who have joined us today, 34 of you found the question of the day. Thank you for answering the question of the day today. And also, 28 of you have been able to give me a thumbs up. Thank you for the thumbs ups. Keep those coming in. The question of the day is, did you ever go on a cruise ship or an ocean liner with your mom and or your dad, with your parents, one, both, the other? Let me know. Have you ever been on a cruise ship or an ocean liner with your parents? 34 people answered the question now. 38% said yes. 62% say no. There are more yeses coming in as the show garners the odd additional viewer. Thank you for viewing us. Thank you for hitting the thumbs up button. 28 at last count have come in as we slowly creep up the thumbs up button. Oh, 29 now. There we go. We got another thumbs up. All right, back to trivia, you guys. Let's go with trivia. Tell me this. Tell me the cities of the world that happen to have the most metro stations. This would be subway stations. As of 2015, 10 years ago, I'm looking for 45 cities in the world that have the most subway stops, metro stops. We need 100 or more stops to qualify for this list. I'd love to know if you can fill me in on how many you can rattle off the top here. Kevin is thinking Beijing, the capital of China. Number 4 on the list with 319 stops. Kevin is thinking New York City. Sharon is thinking New York City. Of course, our friend from New York City would be answering this question, but he might be working right now, so you can't get to it. Number 2 in the world, 421 subway stops, New York City. Absolutely. Kevin and Sharon are wondering about London, England. Would London be in the top here? 270 stops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Number 8 for London right there. Yeah, number 8. Sharon is thinking Paris in France. Yes, number 5 in the world. 302 stops in Paris. That's a big metro system. Brittany had to send it so that Ken corrected. He had London. Kevin Chapman is thinking Boston. Would Boston be on this list, Bruce? Would Boston rank in the top of the world for subway stops? Boston doesn't have 100 stops. No. Vicky had London. Eleanor came in with London. Welcome, Eleanor Duchess Brown. Sharon is thinking Chicago. Would Chicago rank in the top of the world for subway or metro stops? 145 stops. In the top 30, I would say. Yeah. Brittany had Paris, and Vicky had New York City, and Sharon had Beijing. Kevin is thinking Tokyo, Japan, Bruce. Tokyo is number 7 in the world at 285 stops. Kirk Brunson, of course, my Big Apple baby. I work for these guys. I work for this system. Rock and roll, Kirk Brunson. Seoul, South Korea, Bruce. Where does Seoul, Korea rank? Number 1 in the world. Number 1, 512 stops in Korea. 30 million people or so, whatever that number is. Well connected by subway. Roger Holcomb, Moscow, the capital of Russia. Would Moscow have a lot of stops? 196. Looks like in the top 15 or so. Vicky is thinking Atlanta, Georgia. Atlanta for metro stops. Atlanta. We're looking down the list. We're not finding Atlanta having 100 stops or more. Brittany, Calgary. Nope, doesn't work. Stephen Butler, Berlin, Germany. Between East and West Berlin now, all Berlin together combined. They're still expanding. Does Berlin make it on this list? It does. 173 stops. that's in the top 25 of the world. RMS 492, Mexico City. Does Mexico City make it, Bruce? Yeah, number 195. Looks like the top 20 in the world. Brittany had Tokyo. We've got Paris from Kirk Brunson. Now we have Kiev from Roger in Ukraine. Kiev or Kiev, however he wants to pronounce it, doesn't have 100 or more stops. So no, Tokyo we've done. Shanghai, Bruce. How about Shanghai? Yeah, number 3 city in the world. 337 stops, third most. Sharon, hey, I'm also your friend from New York City. Born and bred, you know. Well, you know, you live in Jersey. So you call yourself a Jersey girl, but I don't refer to you as a New Yorker, but I'll respect that. It's all good. Brittany, Detroit. Does Detroit happen to have at least 100 subway stops, metro stop? No, not Detroit, no. Washington, D.C., we're looking at for world countries, remember. Washington has an excellent transit system, absolutely wonderful transit system, but does not make the top list with 100 or more stops. Sharon, what about Barcelona? Is Barcelona in España on the list of at least 100? Yes, 141 stops. Barcelona in España. Well, on the theme of España, what about Madrid, Spain, Bruce? Would the city of Madrid have at least 100 stops? Yeah, it's got 300 stops. Madrid is in the top 7, top 6 of the planet. It is a huge system. Stephen Butler, Dublin in Ireland, would they have 100 stops? I don't think so. No, not Dublin. Atlanta, we've tried. Toronto, Ontario, Canada. Toronto has a pretty big size system. Do they have at least 100 stops? No, Toronto is not on the list. Shanghai, we've done. Vicky is thinking Moscow. We've done Moscow. Sharon, Montreal, and not on the list either, believe it or not. Ken tried Montreal too. What about Kyoto in Japan, Bruce? These Japan cities, they've got pretty sophisticated systems over there. Would Kyoto be one of those? No, not Kyoto, but there's another Japanese city in this list. What about Hiroshima, Bruce? Is that one of those cities? Hiroshima in Japan. No, Hiroshima does not make the list. San Francisco, Bruce, in the United States. Would San Francisco have at least 100 stops? It doesn't look like it. No, not San Francisco. Vancouver, British Columbia. No. St. Petersburg in Russia, Bruce, big city. Would they have at least 100 stops for their transportation system? No metro system, not that big. Ottawa, no. Minneapolis, Bruce. What about Minneapolis in America? Does not look like it. No. You're going to need to go global, guys. Warsaw in Poland, Bruce. Warsaw in Poland. Would they happen to have at least 100 stops? Nope. No. Chicago? No. I think we've tried Chicago. We've done Chicago. 145 stops. Yep, they've got Chicago done. Buenos Aires. Would they qualify? Buenos Aires. No. Melbourne, Australia, Bruce. Melbourne, Australia. I'm looking for Melbourne. I'm looking for Melbourne. Not finding it, but now I do find Melbourne, Australia. 215 stops in Melbourne. That puts them just out of the top 10 in the world. Very, very interesting. Moving on to Rome in Italia, Bruce. Does Rome, Italy have enough metro stops to qualify to make this list here? I don't have Rome. Munich in Deutschland, Bruce. Munich, Germany. Let's take a look for Munich. 100 exactly. They make the list. And right at the bottom there are 3 cities in the world with 100 stops. Munich is one of the 3. Have I said Sydney yet? Asked Sharon. No, you haven't said Sydney, but good thing you did, because it's 178 stops. Top 25 in the world. Singapore, Bruce. Singapore, The city-state of Singapore, do they happen to have at least 100? Yes. 113 stops in the city of Singapore, which is its own country, a very sophisticated system. We have Sydney. Brittany, Sharon, I will never call myself a Jersey girl ever. I'm a New Yorker. There you go. Mexico City, Bruce. Did you do Mexico City? Yes, we did. 195 stops. Sharon, I'm a New Yorker living in exile. Susan, Philadelphia, PA. Do they have at least 100 stops? Nope, they don't make the list. Laughing out loud, Sharon from Susan. RMS, Toronto. No. Ken Correca, Lisbon in Portugal. Lisboa in Portugal. Is Lisbon on the list? No, they're not. Not on the list. Mexico City, we've done. Okinawa in Japan. Okinawa in Japan. No, not on the list. New Delhi in India, one of the biggest cities on the planet. Bruce, do they have a subway system with at least 100 stops in New Delhi in India? Well, I will say no, but I will say yes. Delhi, Delhi, has 146 stops. I'll give it to you on that one. Osaka, Bruce. Osaka, Japan. One of the biggest cities on the planet. Yes, 123 stops in the top 35. Helsinki in Finland. Helsinki, do they happen to have a subway system with enough stops, at least 100 or more? I don't see Helsinki on the map. Melbourne, we've done, haven't we? Haven't we done Melbourne? Yes, we did Melbourne. Brussels, Bruce. Brussels, would it be in the top list here with at least 100 stops? The city of Brussels, not on the list. Nuremberg, Germany, no. Sao Paulo, Brazil, Bruce. Beautiful place, great big country. Sao Paulo, Brasilia. No, not on the list. Rotterdam. What about Rotterdam? That's another big city in Belgium, I believe. Rotterdam is not on the list. New Delhi, we've done. Baltimore, no. That's not a city. Laughing out loud. Cartagena, no. Okinawa, no. India, well, country. Mumbai, Bombay, Mumbai, Bombay, Mumbai, or Bombay. No, it's not on there. Unbelievable. Frankfurt, Bruce. Let's see. I see one German city, two German cities, three German cities, four German cities, five German cities, six German cities. And I'm going to give you Frankfurt because I believe that this one, they have a city known as the Rhine-Ruhr. That, I believe, is Frankfurt. 124 stations. So I'm going to give you that one. Berlin, Bruce. Berlin. Berlin, I think we tried Berlin, didn't we? And we didn't find it on the list. If I'm not mistaken, I don't believe. No, Berlin did make it. 173 stops. So we already got Berlin. I need a bunch of other German cities, though. Rio de Janeiro and Buenos Aires. We tried them both. Bern, Switzerland, Bruce. The capital of Switzerland. I don't think the city is large enough to justify that big, but there is a Swiss city. I've got two Swiss cities other than Bern on the list. Stuttgart. I believe we have a winner. Let me double check on Stuttgart. No, I'm incorrect. Now that could be part of the. No, I have it. Here it is. I missed it. 179 stations in Stuttgart, Germany. Very well done. Hamburg, Bruce. Hamburg, Germany. That's where you were with Jennifer for the third year in a row. You went to Hamburg, Germany. Does it have a big subway system? It does not. And we've been there 3 years in a row. We've never taken their subway system. Maybe that's why. Geneva, Bruce. Geneva in Switzerland. There's a world-class loved city. Is it on this list, Bruce? No, I'm looking for two other Swiss cities. Zurich, yes, Zurich is on here. 190 stops in Zurich. We've ridden the system in Zurich is incredible. Hamburg, we've tried. Wiesbaden, no, Wiesbaden isn't going to work. I need big cities. I'm still looking for a city in Germany with 222 stops. A big city in Germany. A big city in Poland, but not Warsaw. It's the city where democracy sprang up and defeated communism in the 80s. You remember what the name of that city was? Anybody? Now, a city in South Africa. Can anyone tell me a city in South Africa? And a Swiss city, another Spanish city, Belgium city, Australia city, China, another South Africa city, Italy, a city in Italy, a city in Chile, a city in Taiwan. Okay, here we go. Rotterdam, Wuhan, Hanoi, or Hanau. I'm not sure what any of these mean. Austria. I'm looking for Sweden. I'm looking for another German city. A bunch of German cities. Folks, help me out. Milan, Italy. Susan is wondering. Yes, 108 stops in Milan. Brisbane in Switzerland, 146 in Brisbane. Yeah, that's a big system. Johannesburg, yes. Johannesburg in South Africa, 200 stops. That's a top 15 city in the world for a subway system. Rome, we've done. Stockholm, Sweden, Bruce. That's the hint I needed. 100. That's the second 100 city. Yeah, Brittany, for some reason, I'm drawing blanks tonight. Florence, Italy. Not Florence. Looking for Austria, the capital of Austria, the capital of Taiwan, the capital of Chile. Looking for a big city in South Africa. My goodness. Santiago, Kevin, is Santiago, Chile. Yes, 108 stops over there. A city in Switzerland where riverboats, you could take a riverboat right to this city. From Amsterdam all the way down, it ends in this city in Switzerland. Vicky's thinking Athens, and Sharon, Taipei, Taiwan. Yeah, Taipei, 107 stops. They stop at the 101 World Trade Center. They have a stop there. Taipei, right? Salzburg. Yes, it's a city, but it's not big enough. Not going to work for us. The city in Germany, one of them I'm thinking about. You would confuse it with a men's accessory that you would add to your face after you shave. If a man shaves with the old blade, then he puts this on his face. The city in Germany is called that. You know what that is. Roger, talk about Switzerland. You're talking Basel. You're talking Basel in Switzerland. Yes, 182 subway stops in Basel, Switzerland. Oh my God, can you believe it? That's insane. What can I say? Kevin, this is too easy, Bruce. Cologne, or is it Old Spice? The city of Old Spice. Yes, Cologne, Germany, 222 stops, top 10 in the world. Brute, is it Brute, Germany? Is that what it's called? What about this Gdansko place? Gdansk, Poland is the correct answer. Gdansk. Gdansk in Poland has 211 stops, top 12 on the planet for how big that system is in Gdansk. Home of the workers. Subways. Yeah. Laughing out loud. Kevin, Susan's laughing about that. Old Spice, Germany. I'm still looking for a German city. 1. I'm looking for 2. I'm looking for 3. I'm looking for 4. The one city I'm looking for in Germany is where my cousin lives. Jen and I visited him 2 years in a row. One of my viewers from my other channel is always there.
Yes, you have some viewers for your first channel, so
Splair lives in this city. If you know who Splair is from my other channel. Live, I don't know what that is. Munich. What about Munich, Bruce? Munich, Germany. Do they rank in there? They don't. Believe it or not, Budapest, Bruce. Budapest in Hungary does not have it. No. What about the city in Austria, where was it? This is where Mozart was born, I believe.
or he was certainly lived. If you watch the movie Amadeus, it was the capital of Austria in Austria. One of the best cups of coffee I've ever had. There's a picture of me drinking a cup of coffee from that city. Absolutely incredible. I used to be in Danzig, Germany. Danzig, Brittany, Salzburg. Bruce, is Salzburg one of these cities? No, it's not Salzburg, but yeah, this in Austria. Salzburg is not what I'm looking for. City in Germany I'm looking for was bombed out by the Americans at the end of the Second World War, caused 100,000 casualties from the fires breaking out. One of the worst civilian death tolls in modern history. In this city, which became part of East Germany, is now part of Germany. Roger is thinking Vienna, Austria, and you are right. You want to get a good cup of coffee? Go to Vienna. You're going to get a nice cup of coffee in Vienna. Like, get a cup of coffee that's filled with whipping cream, and then a little pot of coffee that you pour over the whipping cream. Then you put some brown sugar on it, or whatever sugar you want, if you want sugar. And then they give you a little biscuit on the side. Now, that is a cup of coffee. Oh, yes, Ken Koreka. Dresden, Germany, Bruce. Dresden, yes, the city got bombed out. Yes, Dresden has 154 subway stops. I wonder why. Yeah, because they don't want to get bombed out again. Sharon, Vienna awaits for you. Roger, Hamburg, Germany, Bruce. The city you visited 3 times in a row. Yes, Hamburg is one of the cities I was waiting for. Hamburg, Germany. I think we've already done Hamburg, if I'm not mistaken. In any event, or we didn't do Hamburg. It didn't make it. Hamburg isn't on the list, but I've been there 3 times. Yeah. Still looking for some more German cities. Dresden, we've got. Thank you. Let's go through South Africa. There are one city you got, Johannesburg. The other city in South Africa is Cape Town, 122 stops. Chongqing in China, 114. Ludwigshafen and Mannheim, Germany, had 100 stops. Dortmund, where my cousin lives, has 125 stops. Busan, I believe in Korea, South Korea, has 128. Gothenburg, is that Sweden or Austria or Germany? I don't know. Shenzhen, China. Antwerp in Belgium, 158 stops. Zhangzhou, China, 164. Valencia in España, 169. Karlsruhe, I think is Germany, 190 stops. And Hanover in Germany, the big industrial area, 196 stops. That completes this list. Bonn did not make the list either. But you guys did really well. You nailed a bunch of these. Well done with subway, metro stations. Well done indeed. This next one is easy, but it's not. It's easy, but it isn't. We'll confuse you in a moment. Thank you again for answering the question of the day and thumbs ups for this show. If you're able to hit that thumbs up button, you can find it. Please nail it for me. We have 31 thumbs ups that are now on the board. Thank you for that. We have 38 votes now on the question of the day, which is, did you ever go on a cruise ship or an ocean liner with your mom or dad or both? 34% said yes, 66% say no. 38 votes are in on that one. Keep that one going too. Thank you all. Your next question of the session is basically this. Can you tell me the countries of the world where you will find a Burger King? If you want to travel the world but only eat Whoppers when you get there, what countries of the world can you find a Whopper and fries? Tell me. I'd love to know. We are not the Joneses. We're doing a All America Mexican Riviera on the 19th of April. Last minute cruise, right on. Kevin, you can find a Burger King in Canada. Yes, in Canada. You can certainly find a Burger King in Canada. Yes, you can. What about Kevin thinking America? Yes, well, of course, you can find a Burger King in America. But now, can you tell me the other 69 countries that have a Burger King? Brittany's got the U.S. Kevin, United Kingdom. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. We got the U.K. Sylvia, España, Bruce.
España. Yes, there are Burger Kings in Spain. Kevin is thinking China or Gina. Yes, Gina. There are Burger Kings in Gina. Yes, Burger King. We're not the Joneses. Japan. What about Japan? Yes, there are Burger Kings in Japan. Boy, you can travel the world and beat Burger King to nothing but Bahamas, Bruce. The Bahamas. Yep, there's Burger Kings in Bahamas. Brittany has the United Kingdom going. Stephen Butler, the country of Paris. The country of Paris. Stephen, are you tired? Have you had a long day today? We're giving you France because we love you. But you know what? I'm going to give you France, but there are no Burger Kings in France. Not even in Paris. Can you believe it? Sharon, Italia. What about Italy, Bruce? Yes, there are Burger Kings in Italy, but not in France. We are not the Joneses. South Korea, Bruce. Yes, there are Burger Kings in South Korea. Sharon, Mexico, Bruce. Oh, yes, there are Burger Kings in Mexico. We've got Canada. What about Kosovo? Brittany wants to know, hey, my husband's going to be stationed over there. Will he find a Burger King in Kosovo? The answer is no. No Burger Kings in Kosovo. Stephen Butler, London. Stephen, countries, don't give me cities. We've already got the UK. We've got Spain already. Sylvia, Germany, Bruce. Germany, yes, a bunch of Burger Kings in Germany, a ton of them. Indeed. Vicky, United Kingdom, we got UK. Sharon, Switzerland. Have Jen and I ever had a Burger King in Switzerland? They have them. I'm trying to remember. In Switzerland, we've not done a Burger King in Switzerland. We've been to Zurich, and I can't remember a Burger King that we went to one. And we were in Zermatt, and there isn't one in Zermatt.
Oh, no, there's a McDonald's in Zurich.
Zermatt has a McDonald's, but not a Burger King. Yeah.
But I don't remember seeing one in Zurich.
In Zurich, I can't tell you. I don't know. But this survey says yes. As a matter of fact, I am going to say at the airport in Zurich. Wouldn't there have been a Burger King at the airport?
There is at the airport.
But we did the McDonald's at the airport.
Yeah,
But I'm sure there's a Burger King at the airport in Switzerland, Zurich. Brittany, China, Bruce. We've done China. Sharon, Ireland, Bruce. Yes, there's a Burger King in Ireland, at least one. Sharon, Colombia. Yes, there's Burger Kings in Colombia. Ken Correca, UK. Brittany, Panama, Bruce. Yep, there are Burger Kings in Panama. Believe it or believe it. Yes, there are. Let's move on to Singapore. We're not the Joneses. Singapore, Bruce. Yes, there are Burger Kings in Singapore. Kevin Chapman, Mexico, we've done. Vicky, Ireland, we've done that. Panama, we've done. Sharon. Brittany, the Bahamas, we've done that. Ken in Mexico, we've done it. Russia, Bruce. Well, there used to be. They shut them down, but there used to be. Yes, France, no France. Jamaica. Yep, there's Burger Kings in Jamaica. Thank you, Cool Jazz. South Korea, we've done. Luxembourg, Bruce. The letter L. No, nothing in Luxembourg for Burger King. Liechtenstein? No, nothing in Liechtenstein. Australia, Bruce. Down under, known as Hungry Jacks. They're known as Hungry Jacks, and they are there. Yes. Vicky is thinking the country of Okinawa. That's an army brand right there. Monaco, Bruce. Monaco. One of the most expensive cities in the world. Do they have it? No, they don't have Burger Kings in Monaco. Brittany, Colombia, we've done. Royale with cheese, they say. Yes, and there are none in France these days. Apparently, no Burger Kings left in France. They must have lost a franchise or something. Japan, we've done Japan, I think. Yep. Australia, we've done. New Zealand, Bruce. Yes, there are Burger Kings in New Zealand. Egypt. What about Egypt, Bruce? Yes, there's Burger Kings in Egypt. Sharon, we are not the Joneses laughing out loud. Brittany, Australia. Sharon, Sweden. What about Sweden, Bruce? Yes, there's a Burger King in Sweden. We were in Stockholm, Sweden for a week, and I don't recall eating at a Burger King in Stockholm. No, we went to the area restaurants. We ate in the hotel. We ate well in Stockholm, very well. We did go to a thank God it's Fridays, TGI Fridays. Very nice. That was in Stockholm, Sweden. Yeah, Stockholm, where the big ship was. The Moulin Rouge across the street. Copenhagen, we were in that hotel. And is there one in that country? Yes. Do you know where Copenhagen is, folks? Tell me the name of the country. But I don't believe the shopping mall had fast foods. I don't remember if we had a Burger King in there or not. Anyway, Cool Jazz, St. Vincent's. St. Vincent's does not have a Burger King. Finland, does Finland have Burger Kings? EF, nope. Iceland, Bruce, nope. No Burger King in Iceland. Montenegro, these are great guesses. No, Montenegro does not make the cut. New Zealand, we have. The Philippines, Bruce, we've got them, right? We've done the Philippines. No, we have not. The Philippines are on the list. Ireland, we've done. Poland, Bruce. Poland, yes, they have Burger Kings in Poland. Amsterdam, this is an army brat giving me cities. I need countries. Vicky, we've done Canada. Ken, Singapore, India. Do we have it in India? Yep, you can get a burger in India. I don't know if it's a beef burger in India, but they've got Burger King in India, believe it or not. Sylvia, Argentina. Yes, there are Burger Kings in Argentina. Hong Kong is not a country. As Sharon, my cousin, always visits KFC in every country he visits. It's fun seeing his travel photos. Nepal. Sharon wants to know about Nepal. No, not Nepal. Pakistan, Bruce. Nope, no Burger Kings in Pakistan. Sharon, Bangladesh, where they're starving to death. Yes, there are Burger Kings in Bangladesh. Probably the good parts of town where they got money. South Africa, Bruce. No, South Africa, not on the list for a Burger King. Turkey, Sylvia wants to know. Sylvia, yes, Turkey, Bruce. Yes, there's Burger Kings in Turkey. Stephen Butler, I was stuck in cities, London and Paris, laugh a lot. I thought Paris had the Royale with cheese per Pulp Fiction, you see. I hear you, buddy. Costa Rica, Bruce. Costa Rica, yes, there's Burger Kings there. Brazil, Bruce, yes, there's Burger Kings in Brazil. Thank you, Brittany. Panama, we got Vicky. Belize. Can we go to Belize and get a Burger King? Nope. Argentina, we've done. Argentina. Guatemala. Yep, they've got Burger Kings in Guatemala. Chile, yes, there's Burger Kings in Chile. Brasilia, Ken is asking, have we done Brazil already? Yes, we've done Brazil. Okay, Bahamas, we've done Bahamas. United Arab Emirates, yes, there are Burger Kings in the UAE. Monaco, we've tried. Taiwan, yes, there are Burger Kings in Taiwan. Monaco, we've tried. Germany, Bruce, tons in Germany, over 400 in Germany, maybe 800. South Africa doesn't work. Sweden, Bruce, we've tried it and it works. Yes. Israel, Bruce, is there a Burger King in Israel? No. Jen and I ate in a McDonald's in Israel, in Tel Aviv, but not a Burger King in Israel. No. It didn't down on this list. Okinawa is not a city. Norway. Yes, you can get a Burger King in Norway. Kevin, Denmark, Bruce. Yes. Copenhagen, Denmark. We were in Denmark. They do have Burger Kings. Belgium, Bruce. Is Belgium on this list? No, it's not. No Burger King showing in Belgium. United Arab Emirates, we got. South Africa, we tried. Kenya. Nope, no Burger Kings in Kenya. That's why they're so skinny over there. Kevin, the Netherlands. Yes, the Netherlands have Burger Kings. That would be Amsterdam. Ethiopia, Bruce, where they're starving to death. They don't have Burger King. If they had Burger Kings, they wouldn't be starving to death. How about that? Vicky, what about Portugal, Bruce? Portugal. Yes, there are Burger Kings in Portugal. Sylvia, Ethiopia. Sharon, South Africa. No. Denmark, we've done. Denmark, Copenhagen. India, Bruce, we've done. Greenland, which is Belgium. And we've done Belgium, and they don't. Virgin Islands, Bruce, no. Aruba, can you travel to Aruba and get a burger? No, you cannot. They do not have Burger Kings. Cambodia, Bruce, no. The tiny Republic of Togo, no. Taiwan, we've done. Morocco, we've done. Shanghai is a city. Ecuador, Ecuador. Yes, you can get a Burger King in Ecuador. You can go visit Ecuador. Vicky, oh yeah, my head. I'm so bad here. Aruba, no, not making the list. Bonaire, not making the list. Curacao, not making the list. Barbados, not making the list. Can't go to Barbados. Colombia, we've done Colombia. All right, Dominican Republic, Bruce. Yes, there's another one. We can go to Dominican for a burger. Stephen, Jen, we need you to referee. Pull it up on your computer. I think Burger King was in France, is owned by Groupe Bertrand and Bridgeport, something like 1,500 outlets. Bruce, they have Burger Kings in France. You are holding me back. I'll tell you what, I'm writing it down here. France. And I'm rubbing it up. You are correct. It's on the list. Stephen, it's on the list. Well done. Vicky, Costa Rica, we've already done it. China, we've done. Guatemala, we've done. Peru, OPQR. Peru is another one off the list. Well done for Peru. Uruguay, Bruce. Uruguay, yes. I'm looking for one more country with a letter V to finish the alphabet, but I need others. Costa Rica, Honduras. Honduras is also available. You can get Burger Kings in Honduras. Colombia, we've done. Lebanon, Bruce. Lebanon, yes, you can get Burger Kings. Huh? Over 500 locations in France. There, Stephen, you are on the list. Bruce, Bolivia. Yes, you can get a Burger King burger in Bolivia. Netherlands, we've done. Syria. In unstable Syria, no Burger Kings in Syria, sorry. Greenland, no go. Turkey, we've done. Dominican Republic, we've done. Greenland, our next 51st state, laughing out loud. Haiti, Bruce, in Haiti, unstable Haiti. Can you get a Burger King burger in Haiti? No, you cannot. España, we've done. Morocco, we've done. Ivory Coast, Bruce, no. Algeria, no. What about Albania? No. Canary Islands? No, I don't see Canary Islands. Greece, is Greece on the list? No, not even Greece. Haiti, Iceland by chance. Is Iceland on the list? No, laughing out loud. Bolivia, we have done it and it's on the list. Venezuela is the country I'm looking for with the letter V. I'm looking for two countries with the letter T. If anybody wants to give those a try, Burger Kings, Venezuela, Vietnam, there's a BK in Aruba. Your list is old. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Croatia, is Croatia on the list? No, I don't see Croatia. Panama, we've done. Romania, there's another one off the list. Trinidad, yep, Trinidad, Tobago, just knocked that one off the list, Sharon. I'm looking for one more country with the letter T. I'm looking for a country with the letter Q. There's a big hint right there. I think there's only one. Transylvania, by the way, Tanzania, Trinidad, Tobago. There's one country with the letter T I'm looking for. Country with the letter P, country with the letter O, country with the letter N, country with the letter M, a couple of those. A letter K country, if you want to give me one. Qatar, Bruce, Qatar, yes. Qatar, you can get a Burger King in Qatar. Turkey, Tunisia, Qatar. No, I'm looking for another country with the letter T, not Tunisia. Oman, Bruce, Oman. Yes, that's the O country. I'm looking for a country with the letter I. Did someone say Iraq? Because I'm going to take Iraq off the list. I can't remember. I'm looking for another country with the letter I, though. Paraguay for the letter P. Yep, that's the one I'm looking for with the letter P. Letter N, letter M for 2, letter K for 1, J for 1. Letter I for 1. Kenya. Nope, not Kenya. Norway. No. Indonesia. Yes, Indonesia is another country with a Burger King. Vatican City. No. Iceland. No. Iran and Jakarta. Jakarta is a city. Iran doesn't work. Does not work in Iran. No. So now, what else are we looking for? Letter G for a country with the letter G, letter E for a country, not Egypt, not Ecuador, letter C for a country, and a letter B and another letter B and a couple letter A's. What about Malaysia? Yep, that's one of the letter M's. I need one more letter M country. Finland and Ghana. Ghana, no. Finland, no. Guyana. Yes, Guyana is a letter G country. Well done. I'm looking for St. Lucia, by the way, never got it. Thailand was a letter T country. Thailand. Germany, Bruce, we've done it. Bolivia by chance? Bolivia, we've done. Andorra, yep, Andorra, the ski chalet country between France and Spain has Burger Kings. Bulgaria, we got it right here. Another one done. Beautiful job. I'm looking for 2 A countries, a B country, a C country, an E country. I'm looking for hang on, Etria, no, not working. An H country in Europe, an H country in Europe, a J country in the Middle East, a K country in the Middle East, an M country in the Mediterranean Sea. It's an island. An N country in Latin America, Bolivia, Ethiopia, we've done already. Hungary, here we are. The letter H is done. Jordan in the Middle East is done. Letter K in the Middle East, and letter N in Latin America. Country E in Latin America as well. What about Malta? Yes, the Mediterranean island of Malta. Yes. Macedonia? No, not Macedonia. You can go all kinds of places for a Burger King burger, can't you? Look at the list here of countries that work. The letter C in Europe. It's a 2-word country. It's a trick question. Cyprus, Ecuador, Nicaragua. Nicaragua is in Latin America. Yes, that's the N country. New Guinea, Nicaragua, Ecuador. We've got Ecuador already. I'm looking for a Latin American country with the letter E. It's a 2-word country as well. Ooh, European country with 2 words starts with a C. And a Latin American country has 2 words, starts with an E. A Mideast country with a B. A Mideast country with a B. It's not very big. I believe it's Mideast. Or let me think a minute. Where is this country located, Bruce? I think it's in there. I'm going to get it if I don't. Oh, you're going to give it to me, but good if I'm wrong. Okay. Czech Republic. Yes, Brittany, you got it. Czech Republic in Europe. That's the one. Bahrain. Thank you. Bahrain. That is in Bahrain is the Middle East, isn't it? I'm pretty sure it's the Middle East. Brunei, and Bhutan. We got it. I was looking for Austria. Nobody got Austria. Vienna again. Too sophisticated to have Burger Kings, I guess. El Salvador and Kuwait in the Mideast. Those are the 71 countries you can get a Burger King. 71 countries. Unbelievable, including the Royale with cheese. Although, isn't the Royale with cheese a Big Mac, a quarter pounder? In the movie, yeah, Pulp Fiction. A Royale with cheese is a McDonald's burger. Stephen Butler, but you're still getting Burger King anyway.
Did you tell them what we had this morning?
We had this morning. Oh, I didn't mention. No, I didn't mention we had an event here. Did you hear about it? We had an earthquake. It was just northwest of San Diego in the mountain range. Between us and San Diego, we had a 5.8 or something. We had an earthquake and aftershocks. Yeah, a little rattle. I was having a nap and the bed started jiggling like I was sleeping in a back of a van or something like that, just kind of jiggling. Windows will rattle a little bit, and then it stopped after about 15 seconds. I went, earthquake. And then Jen opens the door. Did you feel that? I said, yeah, sure did. How about that? All right, that is this quiz done. We've got the Burger King quiz done. Welcome everyone to the program. I hope you're enjoying the show. Thank you for these thumbs ups and answering my poll question of the day. The question of the day is basically 40 votes now. Did you ever go on a cruise ship on a cruise ship or an ocean liner with your mother, father, or parents? Have you ever been on a ship with your parents? One, both. 40 people have answered this question. 32% said no. 32% say yes. 68% say no. I have not ever been on a ship with my parents. All right, everybody. Would you want to? Well, it depends on what time frame. If you were 10 years old and you could remember your parents when you were 10, would you want to go on a cruise with your parents? Wouldn't it? Well, if it's the modern world, but I was 10 in 1965, and the only ship I would have been on would have been an ocean liner. I was 5 in 1960, And I was on 2 ocean liner rides with my mother and father. I remember one of them somewhat, but that was a long time ago. We have 31 thumbs ups. Thank you, everybody, for helping out on the thumbs up. All right, I'm going to ask you the next quiz of the day. This is a quick one. There are only 10 correct answers. Tell me the top wheat growing countries of the world. The top 10 wheat growing countries. No, stop that. Hold it, Bruce. Stop right now. I got the wrong quiz. The top 10 wheat producing states in the United States. I'll take that one today because I don't have the other one. So sorry about that, Sharon and Kevin. You're all over it. Vicky's all over it. No, I'm not looking for countries. I'm looking for states in the United States. The top 10 states for wheat growing. Stephen Butler, Kansas in the USA is number 1, by the way. Yes, sir, number 1. Nebraska is it's not even on the list. Can you believe that? Nebraska is not on the list. Texas, Sharon is wondering, number 9, highest grower of wheat. Michigan, Ken is wondering about Michigan, not in the top 10. Susan, Kansas. Vicky, Kansas. Stephen, Montana, number 4. Iowa, Ken is wondering, Iowa is not on the list, not even on the list. Iowa probably is corn country. Ohio, Sharon is wondering about Ohio. Nope. Texas, Bruce, we've done number 9. Oklahoma is number 5 in America. Indiana, no, probably corn country. Michigan is not on the list for corn. Wisconsin, Vicky is wondering about Wisconsin as a wheat grower. No. Louisiana for wheat? No. Indiana? No. Colorado? Yes. Number 6 is Colorado, even with the mountains. Alabama? No. Pennsylvania? No. Arkansas? No. Mississippi? No. Washington State? Yes. Washington State is number 3 in the country. Wyoming, Bruce, not on the list. Oregon, number 10. Oregon is number 10. Washington State and Oregon are in the top 10, and they're in the Northwest where it rains all the time, and yet they're in the top 10 wheat growers. Unbelievable. Montana, Bruce, we've got it at number 4. Missouri, no. Oklahoma, yes, we've done it. It's Oklahoma's number 5. Idaho, Idaho, number 6, leaving us 2 to go. Idaho is number 6. North Dakota is number 2. Yes, North Dakota is the number 2 wheat growing state in the United States, and South Dakota is not in the top 10. Can you believe it? Unbelievable. South Dakota is not on the list. Utah, no. We have 1 state left. Wyoming, Illinois, Nevada, California, Arizona, Ohio. No. New Mexico, Oregon, Missouri. No. Doesn't rain in eastern Washington, Bruce. Kevin, Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota. So if you look at a map of the United States and you look at the far west, you've got Washington and Oregon. Next door neighbors to Washington State is Idaho with that panhandle going up. It's a top 10 producer. The neighbor to Idaho is Montana, top 10 producer of wheat. Neighbor of Montana, North Dakota, producer of wheat. Neighbor to North Dakota, Minnesota, producer of wheat. Top 10 producer of wheat. Isn't that amazing? Kansas, number 1, North Dakota, Washington, Montana, Oklahoma, Idaho, Colorado, Minnesota, Texas, and Oregon. There you go. Those are your top 10 wheat growers of the United States of America. There you go. All right. One last quiz. This is it. This is the last one. I've saved the best one for last. I hope you love this quiz. Oh man, I can't wait to read this one to you. Thank you one last time for 42 thumbs ups. 42 answers to the question of the day and 33 thumbs ups. Thank you very, very much. 33% of you have taken a cruise with your parents or on an ocean liner. 67% have not had that opportunity. Thank you all so much for joining me. This is your last question of the day for trivia. The question is top 10 ingredients inside a Twinkie. What is the ingredient of a Twinkie? What about the Twinkie? Said this guy. This guy was asking, what about the Twinkie? What are you talking about the Twinkie here? Yes, tell me the largest, the 10 top ingredients inside a Twinkie. Kevin is thinking, well, flour. Yes, enriched bleached white flour for all that flavor. Sharon. Sugar. Yes, the number 3 ingredient is sugar. Kevin has it. Sharon is wheat. We got wheat. Yes. Cream. What about cream? Wholesome cream. No. No. Vanilla? Nope. Andrea's thinking Illinois for wheat growing. Chocolate, Bruce? Nope, not chocolate. Sour cream? Nope. Yellow dye? No. Preservatives? Well, what kind are we talking about here? Plutonium. Plutonium. What about that? Yellow dye number 4. Corn syrup. Yes. Corn syrup is an ingredient in a Twinkie. Vicky, eggs? Yes. Whole eggs. Whole eggs are an ingredient in a Twinkie. We Are Not the Joneses love. They got love in those Twinkies. I'm sure they do. Vicky's thinking cream. Kevin's thinking canola. Vegetable oil. Vicky's wondering about vegetable. Yes, partially hydrated vegetable and or animal shortening. There you go. Lard. Yeah, we got it. Corn syrup. We have corn syrup. Vegetable oil. We got it. Yes. There's a couple of more ingredients in a Twinkie. You gotta mix the ingredients in some kind of liquid. What are we talking about? Not cream. It's not cream. I know what you're thinking. No. What else? You're very little left here. Baking powder, salt, air. There's air in the Twinkie, isn't there, Bruce? Sharon, water. Yes, water is the number 2 ingredient. We also have high fructose corn syrup to just kind of screw in this corn syrup. There's corn syrup and high fructose corn syrup and sugar. Those are big ingredients. Milk, no milk. Water, yes. Potassium sorbate, yes. Kind of, sort of, probably, but I can't see that ingredient. What about the ingredient called calories? Yes, there are calories. Let me read the rest of them. There's only 3 left. Dextrose, Dextrose, soy lecithin, and then the last one is leavenings, sodium acid pyrophosphate, baking soda, cornstarch, and monocalcium phosphate. That's all one kind of ingredient. Some of you were all around that, and welcome all to that answer. Well done, everybody. That is today's collection of trivia questions. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I hope you had some fun today. Appreciate all of you being here tonight. Have a great week this week. I'll see you next Monday. Thank you. Be careful about earthquakes. Thank you for definitely not for Passover. There you go. Thank you for answering the questions that I put up today. The parent question, and also thumbs ups, everybody. Thank you for helping out with those thumbs ups. If you're watching on the rerun, please help us out on the thumbs up meter. We got 34 now coming through. Thank you all so very much. And a total of how many answers on this question today? 43 answers. Thank you. 33% of you have taken a cruise or an ocean liner voyage with your parents. 67% didn't get that opportunity. Thank you all again for all your kind words. Thanks for another great show, says Sharon. Thank you. We'll see you in 2 weeks. You got it. Brittany, not sure if I'll be in next week. Susan R., was that your first earthquake, Bruce? No, we've had them before, but they're just mild. Even today's was mild. 6 intensity back where in the center. Here, 4. Just a gentle rock. It lasted 12 seconds.
The only aftershock you felt was 3.9.
Yeah, and nothing, no dishes rattled. Nothing fell down, nothing. The power never went out. A no-brainer. So yeah, the condo probably swayed a little because it's of wood construction covered in plaster. Nothing made any noise whatsoever. It was absolutely a no-brainer. Stephen Butler, it was fun today. Thanks, Bruce and Jen. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate all of you tonight. Have a great rest of your week. We'll see you next week, Monday, if you can pop by. Otherwise, drop in anytime. And for those of you joining me tomorrow on Stock Markets with Bruce, we'll see you then. We look forward to having you join us tomorrow morning at 8:30 Eastern Time on Stock Markets with Bruce. 34 thumbs ups. Thank you. 43 votes on the question of the day. Have a pleasant evening. We'll see you next time. Goodbye from Rancho Mirage. Bye.